Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are going to completely rethink everything you thought you knew about the ultimate treasure. I'm talking about your health. We're not just going to rehash the traditional definitions here, we're actually diving in to completely redefine what it really means to be healthy in this crazy, fast-paced modern world we're all living in. So think about it for a second. Are you actually healthy right now? Well, you might immediately say, yeah, sure, just because you don't have a cough or a fever at this exact moment. But is just not having a cold really all there is to health? To figure that out, we need to take a hard look at what's actually going on around us every single day. I mean, if we just glance at the daily headlines, the state of our collective health is, well, it's frankly overwhelming, right? It paints a pretty grim picture of a society battling forces that go way beyond microscopic germs. Let's look at some of the hard numbers to put this into perspective. Let's start right here, 100 million. According to a recent report by the ICMR, over 100 million people in India alone are diabetic. Seriously, that is a staggering number. This isn't just some small, localized outbreak we're talking about. It's a massive, large-scale epidemic. And, the crisis actually deepens. Nearly 28.6% of Indians are now facing obesity. Think about that for a second. That's well over a quarter of the population carrying a condition that puts serious strain on the entire body. It literally opens the door to a whole host of other medical complications. So when you realize that 11.4% of the entire population is currently living with diabetes, you really have to ask yourself, what is driving all of this? Well, the evidence points straight to our modern, highly processed diets and this crazy fast food culture we have. What we're consuming every day is literally reshaping our public health from the inside out. But here's the thing, it isn't just the food on our plates. We are facing this entirely new class of modern health hazards. I mean, intense immersion into social media is spurring a drastic, totally unprecedented rise in loneliness. On top of that, air pollution is a literal public health emergency right now. We're even seeing kids developing dry eye disease, sleep disorders, and severe anxiety just from excessive screen time. Our everyday environment is fundamentally different than it was even a few decades ago. To really wrap our heads around the real-world impact of these hazards, let's zoom in on a real-life example from our source material. It's about a grade 8 student. He simply moved to a new school in a new city. Now, he didn't catch a dangerous virus or anything like that, but his health severely deteriorated anyway. Let's break down exactly what happened to him. This case brilliantly illustrates what I like to call the modern health trap. So moving to a new city with busy parents, this kid felt deeply, deeply isolated. And to cope with that, he turned to his phone and social media. But instead of finding actual connection, this sparked a massive downward spiral. It led to very real physical symptoms. I'm talking terrible headaches, actual weight loss, and just awful sleep. It actually took a doctor identifying the root cause, advising way less screen time, and bringing in a school counselor to fix his social environment. And you know what? That completely turned his physical health around. So, the absolutely crucial question we have to ask here is, what was the true cause of his health problems? Was his illness a bacterial infection? A virus? Nope, not at all. It was his environment, those deep feelings of isolation and the specific lifestyle choices he used to cope that were actually making him physically sick. And this builds a really fascinating larger picture. See, we used to view health crises entirely through the lens of infectious diseases, smallpox, polio, malaria. And thankfully, modern science largely shields us from those today. But now we are absolutely besieged by lifestyle issues. Diabetes, heart problems, screen-induced anxiety. Our daily battles have literally shifted. We went from fighting microscopic germs to fighting our very own behavioral habits. Which brings us to a massive pivot in how we think. Because of this huge societal shift, our very definition of health absolutely had to change. In fact, the World Health Organization officially declared that health isn't just about being disease-free anymore. It is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. It's a fully interconnected system, kind of like a giant puzzle where every single piece matters. So a truly healthy person actually has to actively balance 3 distinct pillars. First up, physical well-being. That requires a nutritious diet, regular exercise, and proper sleep. But honestly, that's just not enough without mental well-being. Maintaining a positive mindset and actively managing your stress levels. And crucially, you absolutely need social well-being, building strong relationships and engaging in your community. Because if you ignore even one of these pillars, the whole structure just crumbles. Now here is what I find truly fascinating. This whole modern, holistic approach we've been talking about, it isn't actually new at all. No way. Our ancient Indian scientific heritage, specifically Ayurveda, has taught this exact balance of body, mind, and surroundings for centuries. It's a profoundly deep system that was just incredibly ahead of its time. Let's break down how it actually works. Ayurveda teaches us that the very first step to true health is dinacharya. Simply put, this just means maintaining a healthy, structured daily routine. And let's be real, in an era where our lives are so chaotic, so stressful, and completely unpredictable, anchoring yourself with a solid daily routine is your absolute first line of defense. Building right on top of that foundation, we have ritucharya. This is the practice of adapting your lifestyle and your habits as the seasons change around you. Just like how the monsoon brings a much higher risk of specific illnesses, or how winter brings cold and flu season, ritucharya means you're proactively shifting your diet and routines to stay in total harmony with your environment. It's how you stay protected year-round. And finally, we have prakriti. Long before the buzzwords of modern personalized medicine, this concept taught us that health simply isn't a one-size-fits-all formula. You have a completely unique body constitution, meaning you need fresh, wholesome foods that are specifically suited to your biology. Seriously, that trendy diet that works perfectly for your best friend, it might not be the right fuel for you at all. So, by combining all this brilliant ancient wisdom with modern science, you can build a remarkably strong shield against modern diseases. Think of this as your daily survival toolkit. Eat nutritious foods, definitely cutting back on excess oil and sugar. Maintain rigorous personal hygiene. Did you know something as incredibly simple as regular hand washing reduces infection rates by a massive 50%? That's huge. Add in some restful sleep, regular exercise, and practices like yoga or meditation to bring down that anxiety, and boom, you've successfully covered all three pillars of your health. As our world continues to rapidly change and throw these unprecedented new challenges our way, I want to leave you with one final, kind of provocative thought. We've just seen exactly how our modern lifestyles and our social environments have created all these new epidemics, right? So, as our climate shifts and our global environment fundamentally evolves, could climate change actually lead to entirely new types of diseases? How are our ever-changing surroundings going to test our ultimate treasure of health next? It is a really critical question we all need to ponder. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, stay curious, and most importantly, stay healthy out there.